display model to sync properly is hard. Converting one to remote control with lights and working smokestacks? Well, that's pretty tough too. You're watching Rapid Nadion. Here's how we built our RC Titanic and its tiny fleet of support ships. The starting point for this build was the Minicraft Titanic kit, a 1 to 350 scale model coming in at 30 inches overall. We knew from experience with our sinking Titanics that we'd have to ballast the model with additional weight to float properly, and we were helped along in this by the equipment needed to bring the model to life. Namely, twin 7.4 volt electric motors, a 4-channel AM radio receiver, 3 smoke generators, and over 50 LEDs for hull and superstructure lighting. Powering it all, an 11.1 volt LiPo power pack for the smokers and motors, a 9 volt battery for the superstructure LEDs, and 3 AAA batteries for the in-hull lighting. Now, to be able to see any of those lights, we had to drill. The Minicraft model's portholes are just depressions cast into the styrene, so each one needed to be drilled out and then countersunk so the light could be seen off-axis. 1,130 hand-drilled holes later, Titanic had a lightable hull, which was made watertight again with packing tape. The interior was also painted white to better reflect the LEDs, which were placed inside colorized drinking straws to give them a warmer color temperature. Alongside this work, the propulsion plant was going in. The twin DC motors drive Titanic's 3 propellers at a 10-to-1 ratio through gears salvaged from an RC helicopter. Each motor has its own speed control for added maneuverability, though the ship's rudder is also fully functional. The center propeller is belt-driven and can be manually decoupled for historically accurate reversing shots, and it also rotates at an accurate 2.2 times faster than the wing propellers. With the ship's power plant taken care of, we moved on to the upper decks, where careful planning was needed for superstructure lighting. The LEDs themselves were fairly straightforward, just single bulbs superglued under certain deck houses. But the wiring harness powering them needed to be totally reworked as we became concerned about topside mass. See, despite the fact that we omitted a lot of plastic called for in the original design, the ship still discovered we were right about stability. All that paint and additional equipment in the superstructure had made our model untenably top-heavy. We could have added more weight to the hull to counteract this, but it would have made the ship sit too low in the water, put the G-deck portholes under. So to stabilize the ship, we opted instead for a detachable keel. This was a simple build. It's a sawzall blade with the teeth ground off, bolted to a piece of brass stock, weighted with lead at the bottom. The whole thing is held onto Titanic by neodymium magnets, so it can be easily removed, reattached, or repositioned. The fine details on Titanic all came from the Minicraft model's brass detailing kit. But to give the fairly small vessel a sense of scale, our master shipbuilder scratch-built a 4-ship auxiliary fleet from balsa wood. The largest is a side-wheel tender modeled after the 2 ferries that brought passengers from Queenstown, Ireland to the Titanic. It's powered by real paddle wheels and is remotely controllable. Next up, a tugboat based on historical photos of Titanic tubs, fitted with an electric motor and the smallest propeller we've ever built, hauling a barge filled with actual anthracite coal that we dug up from our shipyard's driveway. And finally, the schooner Gillette, so named for the razor blade that forms its keel. Its sails are repurposed Venetian blinds, and yes, it really sails. All told, our RC Titanic model conversion took 3 months and about $600. Filming both it and the auxiliary fleet for the final video took 3 days and 5 separate cameras, including a low-light camera on loan from Mr. Mobile, and a super slow-motion camera on a Sony smartphone, the XZ Premium, borrowed from Clove Technology. Links in the description to both. The final product, our most elaborate and lovingly recreated Titanic model ever, and the only one we've ever shot that hasn't ended up on the bottom. Well, not yet, anyway. Be sure to check out all of our Titanic videos on our channel page and subscribe for more scale model video coming to you, well, just as quickly as we can make it. Thanks for watching.